Hi and welcome to the course. I want to start off by talking about hypnotherapy and what it is and what it can be used for. To begin with though, I want to talk about the difference, the distinction between hypnosis and hypnotherapy, because what I've found over the years is that some people are a little bit confused of what the difference is between the two, or maybe they even regard them as the same thing. Hypnosis is a state, and I'll be talking much more about hypnosis in the second video, but just think of hypnosis as a state of mind, a state of being. Hypnotherapy is therapy that is performed while the client or patient, whatever you want to refer to them as, is in this state of hypnosis. And what the hypnosis does, and for reasons that will become clear as we go through this course, what the hypnosis does, it effectively speeds up the therapy process. Let me just talk briefly about psychotherapy and counselling. There are many different forms of psychotherapy. There are many different forms of counselling. Probably the most well-known and most common form in the UK is cognitive behavioural therapy. Now, a course of cognitive behavioural therapy can very easily last for several weeks, sometimes many months. Occasionally it can extend into years. Hypnotherapy, on the other hand, works much more quickly. And I've in fact had many instances where I've had a client who's had several months of psychotherapy, and although it's may have helped them to a degree, it hasn't helped them to fully, get rid of the problem that they had. Hasn't really helped them to achieve what they wanted to achieve. And then after 2 or 3 sessions of hypnotherapy, find that they're able to actually achieve what they wanted to achieve. And there are a number of reasons for that, mainly because what the hypnosis does, it allows the person to basically go much deeper into their unconscious mind, or what some people call the subconscious mind. And again, I'll be talking about that later on in this course. So it helps people to go closer to, into the problem and closer to the actual root cause of the problem. Because you see, if you can find and deal with the root cause of the problem, then not only does the problem go away, it's not going to come back again at some point in the future. Now, I should point out that not all hypnotherapists have the same view. There are many different ways, different styles of hypnotherapy, and I'll come on to that in a brief moment or two. But just to summarise, hypnotherapy, think of it as like a form of psychotherapy, but using hypnosis. And what the hypnosis does, it accelerates the process, so that the client, the person, gets the outcome that they wanted much more quickly than they might with psychotherapy or counselling. But coming back to this point of hypnotherapy, within the hypnotherapy world, within the hypnotherapy profession, there are many different views, opinions, beliefs about how hypnotherapy should be performed, what it should involve, etc., etc. And the reason for that is because we're still learning, not just within hypnotherapy, within the whole psychological world. We're still learning about what people can and can't achieve. We're learning all the time about how the mind works, how the brain works, how the mind and body interact with each other. And again, we'll be looking at all these things a little bit later on in this course. So there are many different views out there, and I'll just give you a couple of examples of what I mean. There are some hypnotherapists who use predominantly what's called analytical hypnotherapy, using forms of free association, pretty much along the lines of the old Freudian idea of psychoanalysis, but using hypnosis, which again speeds up the process. However, a course of analytical hypnotherapy or using the free association can quite easily go on for 10, 12, maybe even occasionally 15 sessions. So on the one hand, we have these people who use the mainly analytical approach, who believe that it's going to take 10, 12 or more sessions for the client to get better. On the other hand, you have the quick fix guys, those who believe, and indeed often do, help their clients in 1 or 2 sessions. Now, and these people over here are a little bit sceptical of the guys over here, because they see them as just getting as much money as they can out of the client, and these guys over here are sceptical of the ones over here because they don't believe that you can achieve quick and permanent results that quickly. Now, where do I sit in on this? I sit kind of in the middle. Yes, some people can be helped in 1 session. If a person has a straightforward fear of spiders, for example, or fear of flying, or if they want to stop smoking, quite often they can be helped in 1 session. Some people with have got a lot of anxieties going on that are very, very deep rooted may need 5 or 6 sessions, occasionally even more than that. But in my experience, in my opinion, and certainly from the way I work, most people I find need about 3 sessions. 3 or 4 sessions is about the average number of sessions that my clients have. So I hope you can see that there are, within the hypnotherapy world, there are these different views. Another big sort of debate or argument within the profession is whether or not it's important or necessary to find the root cause of the client's problem. Some hypnotherapists use predominantly suggestion, where they give the client positive suggestions that day by day you will feel more and more confident, more and more self-assured, etc., etc. And that approach can work fine, and it can get good results, it can get great results. But how long do those results last? If you haven't dealt with the underlying cause, is it likely to wear off after a time? My personal belief is yes, it may well wear off after a time. So I fall into the other category of hypnotherapists who believes that if a person has anxiety or low confidence or has a phobia or any kind of emotional upset like that, there's always a cause, there's always an underlying reason. You see, people aren't born anxious, people aren't born lacking in confidence. You know, we're human beings, we're the result of, you know, hundreds of thousands of years of evolution. Our ancestors, your ancestors, have lived through incredibly difficult times. Plagues, famines, droughts, wars. They survived. How do we know they survived? Because you're here, you're the evidence. So you must have it within you. Those strengths, those resources, you must have those things within you. So we're not born anxious, we're not born lacking in confidence. It's life experiences that cause us to lose confidence, to become anxious. Although when I say lose confidence, it doesn't actually go anywhere, it's still in there. And hypnotherapy is very good at helping people to bring it out again. But for me, the best way of doing that is to find out the root cause. What was it that happened when the client was a small boy or a small girl, or maybe even a teenager, that caused them to become anxious, that caused them to develop panic attacks, that caused them to have low confidence or low self-esteem. And finding that root cause, and more important, dealing with it, because just knowing what the root cause is doesn't really help. It's how you deal with it that counts. But finding the root cause and dealing with it not only helps to get rid of the problem, it means it's not going to come back again, you know, several months or years down the line. Once it's gone, it's gone. What can hypnotherapy be useful for? I think it's fair to say that most people in the general population would associate hypnotherapy with stopping smoking, and hypnotherapy is very effective at helping people to stop smoking. I need to point out something very important here, and this is something that you'll understand in the second video. There's no control on my part as a hypnotherapist or indeed on the part of any other hypnotherapist. So I can't make someone stop smoking. But if someone really wants to stop smoking, I can help them to do it perhaps much more easily than they'd be able to do it on their own. So it's not about hypnotherapy, it's not about mind control, it's about actually giving back people more control in their own lives. So it's actually the opposite way around to the way that a lot of people see it, who do see hypnotherapy and hypnosis as about controlling people's minds. Actually the reverse is true, it's helping people to gain control of their minds, of their lives, of everything. So hypnotherapy is very effective at helping people to stop smoking. It's also very good at helping people to break other habits, such as nail biting, hair pulling, and overeating. And because hypnotherapy is very good at helping people to stop overeating and having generally more control over their eating habits, of course it follows that they can also have more control of their weight. So hypnotherapy is very good at helping people to be slimmer, to lose the weight. But hypnotherapy, it comes into its own, I think, with helping people with emotional issues, anxiety, panic attacks, phobias, confidence issues, self-esteem issues, those kinds of things. But as I said a few months ago, it's best, in my opinion, if we can find the root cause of the problem, get rid of the root cause, and then instill the newfound, the new confidence, the new self-assurance, so that the client can move forward with their lives. So hypnotherapy can help with a very wide range of issues, of problems. Now it's not a cure-all by any stretch of the imagination, but as we learn more and more about how the mind works, how the mind and body interact, we're learning little by little that maybe hypnotherapy can help with all sorts of things that until recently would never have been considered possible. Maybe even some medical conditions, but that is way beyond the scope of this introductory course. Anyway, that's it for the first video, and as an introduction to what hypnotherapy is all about. In the next video, I'll be talking about hypnosis, what it is, and perhaps more importantly, what it isn't. So I'll see you again soon.